Do you love the Tabernacle Choir? This year, the choir's music is everywhere you are. Listen to your favorite choir songs and music and the spoken word anytime you want on Alexa by simply enabling the skill.
Alexa, play the Tabernacle Choir.
Now playing the Tabernacle Choir.
You can also download the Tabernacle Choir app, subscribe to the choir on YouTube, listen on Spotify, and have access to all their wonderful music. Happy listening.
Hey, it's Brother 1 and Brother 2 from Two Brothers Mattress. You'll spend 33% of this year on your mattress. That's almost 3,000 hours. Start sleeping comfortably now on a new Tempur-Pedic mattress.
Visit one of our 5 stores or twobrothersmattress.com.
With our lowest price guarantee
and our 100-night trial,
your locally owned Two Brothers mattress is your #1 choice for Tempur-Pedic mattresses. Visit one of our 5 stores or twobrothersmattress.com.
twobrothersmattress.com.
Welcome to the KSL Home Show. Brought to you by Osmond Designs. We open the doors for local home buyers and sellers with a fast-moving show about Utah real estate and home design. Here's Heather Osmond and Lindsay Ertz on KSL News Radio 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Welcome on into the Home Show today. Thank you for joining us. Happy Saturday. Hope you're having a fantastic one. Lindsay Ertz here with Heather Osmond, who owns Osmond Design, stores in Lehigh, stores in Orem. And Heather, every so often we have these episodes where I just get to sit back, fold my arms, and listen to y'all talk shop. So I have a feeling that's what's going to happen today.
You know what, Lindsay? We are going to have such a great episode today. It's such a beautiful morning. And better than that, we have Drew Armstrong and Mathew Flinders back on the KSL Home Show with us.
Hello.
It's always a party.
Flinders.
They are 2 of the best real estate agents in the entire state of Utah. And if you're looking for a high-tech real estate partnership, these guys are your guys.
It's mostly Drew.
It's mostly Drew.
Well,
it's Drew.
I do the tech.
Yes, you're very high-tech, and you take incredible drone footage and photography.
Thanks.
You guys are killing it out there.
We've been on the bleeding edge of technology for years.
You really have.
Drew was in Newsweek back when he was like 22 years old.
Oh, yeah, that was a long time ago.
Right, because he was one of the first agents who was using digital photography in marketing.
Hello, and I think photography right now is how you get people into your homes if you have listings.
Yeah, it totally is.
No doubt about it.
Makes a big difference.
Okay, so you guys, what's going on in the national real estate industry right now?
Well, interest rates are going up. They're about 5% now. So what is that doing to the market? That's we are losing more buyers. More buyers are priced out of the market. We've seen buyers going just shell shock as they realize, hey, the payment for that same house I could have bought 3 months ago just went up $400, $500,
which hurts
for that same thing. And so a couple days ago, the economist for the National Association of Realtors just came out and said, here's what I think is going to happen. He said. Things are slowing down because interest rates are going up. Now, locally, I think we still have we have a big supply and demand problem. So not enough supply and still some really strong demand, people that need housing. So people are still offering on houses, still buying houses, even though their payments have gone up. But the number of buyers is going down. And so nationally, he was just talking about how he thinks things will kind of slow down, maybe more of like a 3 to 6% appreciation this year in a lot of markets, but Drew and I still think we're gonna beat those. If we had to guess, we're gonna beat those numbers.
Yeah, we've probably seen 10% this year already, which is crazy. But in some areas and some markets, even in Utah, we're seeing houses sit on the market for 2 weeks, which is kind of unheard of in some. I mean, if you look at last year, I think the average time on the market for almost everything was about 2 days. But if it's a upper end or if it's bigger stuff, bigger land or something unique, it's sticking around for a while. But since our last show, we sold another listing for over $100,000 over the asking price in Sugar House. So if it's like in the right area, it's still crazy.
How do you guys feel like real estate agents are faring this as the interest rates go up? I mean, this slows your income, essentially.
Well, I'm sure it will. For us, it's actually been busier because people right now want our attention because they want to find something, you'd think, oh, well, we're just going to, things are still going to go up.
They want to get in before it goes up higher. Yeah.
There's only been in Utah County in the past, well, in more than my career, in the past 35 years, it's only gone down twice. And once it went down by 22% in the Great Recession. The other time it was like 1 or 2% in 1990. And Salt Lake County skipped that. Utah County had that happen in about 91 or 92 when Geneva Steel closed for about a year and a half. It went down just a little bit, mostly in Orem and then a little bit in Provo because that's the largest employer closes. At this point, we have so many employers, that's not going to happen the same way. We're diversified in a different way. The economy as a whole might be affected a little bit, but there isn't one industry that's going to collapse a market like it did down there. But it is so unusual. I mean, even when the dot-com bubble burst, I mean, I was selling real estate. That was like in 2001, 2002. And things went down to a meager 3% a year for a couple of years appreciation in Utah, but they still went up. Mm-hmm. And so people right now, a lot of our clients are like, oh my gosh, help us. We got to find something quick because what they're worried about is interest rates going up further.
Yeah. And I want to know how important it is to not play the shoulda, woulda, coulda game right now. My husband does this all the time. And I try to be like, we can't do this. Like, oh, I should have gotten in 10 years ago. I should have gotten in 2 months ago, right?
2 weeks ago, right? Real estate in Utah continues to go up. So I know people are worried about, oh, it's at 5%. It used to be 3% or 4%. These are incredible interest rates.
Incredible.
Investors are getting in the market. Everyone's still making huge amounts of money on real estate, not only on a monthly basis if it is a real estate investment and collecting those rents, but as the appreciation, right? Just the overall appreciation, the tax deductions. There's so many benefits for being in the market.
But I mean, when we haven't seen as dramatic an increase in interest rates in 20 years.
Right.
I mean, the last time we were seeing this, I remember in 1998, because I was selling in 1998, interest rates hit about 9%.
Old.
I know.
You're so old.
Interest rates hit about 9%. And we're at 5%, I mean, still epically good interest rates, but so the interest rates are epically good still at 5% compared to 9%. But when the rates jump that much, that quick, it's a 2-point jump in 2 months, basically. And when they jump that much, that quick, of course it's going to affect things. And that's what they want it to do. That's what they're trying to stop the inflation a little bit by doing this. But if they overdo it, what's going to end up happening? We're still building our stuff. We're still moving forward because what's going to end up happening is the Fed is doing this on purpose to slow things down. If they overdo it, they're going to bring those rates right back down again. So,
and with the election cycle coming up here shortly, I really am guessing that things are going to stay where they are or the interest rates are going to go down because they need the economy to stay strong.
I assume that they'll go up a bit more before they go down, but generally that year before the major election, especially, we see them drop them because they want the economy looking good.
Exactly.
But this isn't the 4-year cycle. This is a 2-year this time, so it's not going to be quite the same.
Right. We still have a lot of demand from within. I was listening to this economist who was saying that Utah, Idaho, Texas, Arizona, Georgia, and Montana still have more jobs now than before COVID-19. So, Lindsay, I'm guessing you're reporting on things like that.
Yes, sir.
And we're still seeing a tremendous number of investors buying properties here.
Absolutely.
It's about 22% of the transactions in some price ranges, and that's up from about 15% of the transactions a year ago. So people are moving their money into real estate at this point.
Oh, my gosh, I have a funny story about somebody looking at investment properties.
Can you tell it now? Or
Yeah, you got 2 minutes. Ready to go.
Drew.
Okay, so
we were digging in the vault this week. Thinking of funny things that happen.
So
this one's a good one.
I'm taking this young couple out looking because they have a house, but they've saved up a down payment for like a investment condo, And so we're looking at condos that are they're already investments, and so this one has been rented to somebody, and so we go to open the door, and I get the door open, and I go in, and there are loud noises coming from one of the bedrooms. And so I close the door.
Drew, we're not this kind of show.
It's a family show.
It's a family show.
I close the door,
Saturday
and
morning, all the kids are asleep.
We're trying to leave because we're like, oh my gosh, and I can't get the key. out of the lock because it's kind of stuck in there, and I'm jiggling the doorknob hoping not to alert anybody that we actually opened the door. It's pretty bad.
What is
I
going on?
Said a little prayer and it came out. So.
Oh, good. And you guys took off and you did not show that property. Look, they lost a good buyer on that home.
Gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Tenants, BYU student tenants probably. That's a problem.
Anyway, we have our crystal ball out. There's a lot of mud on that crystal ball, but we think our prediction for this year is we're going to see some increases. I don't know. We were guessing internally about 8% still.
Yeah, I think we've already seen about 10, and I think it's frantic buying because they're going, oh my gosh, interest rates are going up, and let's do it before it goes up further. And so I think we've seen probably close to 10% in along the Wasatch Front, Ogden to Provo already. But I think we'll probably see another 8% still this year.
There's an incredible development that is just south of Lone Peak High School in the Highland area. Mm-hmm. And David Weekly is one of the contractors in that subdivision. And they actually have a moratorium right now on selling to investors. They will only sell to owner occupants because they had this huge amount of investors that were buying all these properties, and they just knew that the entire neighborhood was going to be full of renters, and they stopped that. And it sounds like, as I did some research on it, it wasn't just in Utah. It was actually a national thing that they did. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, it is a great time to invest nationally in real estate, but specifically in Utah, we are still exceeding all the expectations of everything, all the experts and what their predictions are. So get into real estate. Lindsay,
I'm sold,
let's
man.
go, girl.
I'm sold. Okay, Drew Armstrong, Mathew Flinders, UtahRealEstate.net, Armstrong and Flinders.
She's got a jingle then.
I'm a professional, folks. We'll take a break. More on the home show in just a minute.
It's the KSL Home Show, sponsored by Osmond Designs. If you like talking about Utah homes and real estate, then this is the place on KSL News Radio.
Welcome back into the home show today. Thank you for joining us. I am Lindsay Aerts. Heather Osmond's with me. She owns Osmond Designs in Lehigh and in Orem. And your guests today, Heather, they keep me laughing all hour long.
Seriously, I'm always laughing.
It's so fun.
They're definitely a highlight of the month to have Drew Armstrong and Mathew Flinders on the show. They are two of the best real estate agents in all of Utah. Welcome back, you guys.
Armstrong and Flinders.
Right, that's us. But when we were just calculating because we've sold we've closed over 2,000 transactions. Well over 2,000 transactions now. And if you think about that, when you're closing that many, how many houses have you seen? And we think, well, on average, we're showing over 10 homes to each buyer that we sell to. Yep. And so how many houses is that? And we've had people come in and I can't do this. I can't remember houses as well as Drew can, but he'll say, where are you from or where are you moving from? Which house on that street? Oh, you mean this one? And Drew's been in that house before. He's got this great. Yeah, Drew can remember him. I think we've sold one house 4 times. I think that's our record.
Probably the record. Same house.
A couple of houses twice, and we've been in a lot of houses around. So.
Okay, you guys. So in talking about that, tell me about, obviously I'm furniture and interior design, but tell me what difference that makes.
It makes a big difference. I met with a guy this week. He is 68, so he's thinking, you know what, I can't do stairs for that much longer. And so I think I'm going to move now. He went down to Arizona and he's looking at houses there and thinking, well, I can get a main level living house with a pool, and I'm excited about that. And so anyway, we went walking through his house, and I actually referred him to you and said, I am not an interior decorator, but you need to call Osmond Design.
Got to update this thing.
Right.
Got to update this thing. In fact, you'll do better if you move out, we repaint, have them pick some flooring for you, do a couple of other things, and then sell the house, because it's going to make such a big difference for, a buyer to come in and it's move-in ready.
He'd been there for 28 years by himself.
Wow.
So
it was due.
Yeah. Right.
So this last week, I don't show a lot of homes to a lot of clients, but my sister and her husband want to downsize. They have a beautiful home in the Cedar Hills area. They have a neighbor that wants to buy the home, but they have not been able to find anything. So we've been looking from Draper, South Jordan, all the way down to south of Provo and Orem and Mapleton area, just anywhere in that area, $3 million and up. And you would not believe what I have seen. I mean, I'm in people's homes.
Believe.
You would believe.
Yeah,
you guys would believe.
sure.
But
Again, I'm never letting any of you in my house. Never.
our KSL friends, you would not believe what we have seen in the $3 million and up price range. I mean, so many homes are either bare or they're crazy rundown. I mean, in this price range, you wouldn't think there would be a lot of fixer-uppers.
Maybe they're house poor.
They very
They
well
can't
could
afford
be.
furniture.
Exactly. They have a lot of kids. They have college. And
I see that, and I'm like, why in the world? I mean, I've seen houses where they're only, like, the basement is all finished, but there's no furniture in the entire basement. They're only living on the main floor. I'm like, why did you buy a house this big?
Right. They're
if
not
you're
even using
gonna
it.
Use that space. It's weird sometimes.
It's very, very strange. And this has just been within the last few months. And so, again, I've had to reevaluate and realize that, how you live is really, really important. And how you sell your home is even more important. People do not realize that as a real estate agent with my sister and her husband, we're walking through homes and we go to a nicely decorated home versus one that's empty or disheveled. It's cluttered. It's even in those upper price range, you automatically have an emotional response to that.
Absolutely.
You are not going to get the same amount of money, even though it could be a nicer home in a better location.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, when was the last time, and you know this, Heather, because you decorate all the Parade homes, but sometimes somebody puts a house on the Parade and it's empty. There's no furniture in it. And I'm telling you, people spend like a third of the time that they would in a house that's decorated in there. And, the way you live is one thing.
Right.
Live however you want to live. But when you get ready to present your house to try to get somebody to buy it, it's an emotionally driven decision.
I want to talk numbers for a second. Matthew, you always talk about how you can buy the new furniture that you're going to put in your house that you're going to move to and actually recoup that money. You call it free furniture.
I really think it's free furniture.
You're a big proponent of that. But what's the cost benefit here? Do I need to spend $10,000 in furniture? Will I get $20,000 back?
Depends on the size of the house.
What do you guys see?
It depends. So the first place I learned this was back a long time ago when Drew and I sold 5 or 6 houses for Heather. And I am the numbers guy, and I would go crunch the numbers and everything, and I would really see Heather's homes were selling, 5 or 6% more than the market analysis would show, my careful market analysis. And I came to realize, not everybody can decorate like her. So that's not fair. But I know that I'll go into some homes, and some people I can just tell. If you'll go, right now, you're going to buy the new home. Are you going to buy any new furniture? What if you went and talked to Heather Osmond, got a designer, got some good furniture, put it in your home? It's going to sell for a few % more if you do that.
For the exact same house.
For the exact same house. It'll sell faster. It'll feel better.
I totally am a subscriber. I'm just wondering, how much do I have to spend?
Right.
Well, when you're saying 5%, maybe 8% kind of thing of the value of your house.
Yeah, $10,000's not that much.
But 5% of a $500,000 house back in the day was like $25,000.
Yeah.
So it's significant.
Yeah.
And about 5 years ago, we built our dream home in Alpine, and we ended up having a neighbor that wanted to buy it. And then within 2 weeks, we had someone email us that wanted to buy it. At the time, I was posting pictures on Instagram and just doing some marketing stuff. And then we had someone come and knock on the door within 2 weeks. And I remember looking at my husband going, what is going on right now? Why are people knocking and calling and emailing and all of these things? And so we decided to put our home up on the market, and we put it with, if you want to buy the furniture, that's great. We had multiple offers. We had a bidding war, people fighting over, and they bought all of our furniture. So we pretty much took our clothing, took our silverware, our dishes, and our food in the pantry, and almost everything else stayed.
That's so
crazy.
fun. Yeah.
Well, that's because you've just been out looking at homes over $3 million, and you've realized how many terrible homes there are out there.
I know. I wish I had 10 more to sell.
Right.
Seriously, at this point.
Well, and one thing you have to be careful of is it's in the last month, there are 2 houses that they appraised, and then we priced it at the appraisal, knowing that it was probably a little bit low. and we've sold them for both of them for well over $100,000 more than what the house appraised for. So you got to be careful that sometimes, we have somebody that put their neighbor got it appraised, and the word got out in the neighborhood in Highland that they were selling, and the neighbor says, well, we'll pay you $10,000 more than the appraisal. And they undersold the house based on what we just did to the one across the street by $70,000, would have net $70,000 more.
Well, and knowledge is power. So do not sell your home for less than it needs to be selling for. Call Mathew Flinders. Call Drew Armstrong. Call
Drew.
Call Heather Osmond. Will help you
just as much.
get your home ready to sell.
We'll take a break. More on the home show in just a minute.
Welcome to the KSL Home Show. Brought to you by Osmond Designs. We open the doors for local home buyers and sellers with a fast-moving show about Utah real estate and home design. Here's Heather Osmond and Lindsay Ertz on KSL News Radio 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Welcome back into the home show. Thank you for joining us. If you are just joining us, you can podcast this show wherever you podcast. Just search for the KSL Home Show. You'll find all the past episodes there. Heather Osmond with me, Osmond Design owner and interior designer, stores in Lehigh, stores in Orem. And Heather, not only do you make people's homes look beautiful, but you make them more money.
We sure try. I do have some background in real estate. In fact, years and years and years ago, I used to sell real estate with Drew Armstrong and Mathew Flinders in the same office. We were all newbies. We were like little puppy dogs.
Yes, we were.
And we worked so hard, and we laughed and we learned, and we, looking back, we have so many stories and hilarious experiences. You guys have been in this real estate market here in Utah, and I pivoted to interior design, which has been really fun for me, but we continue to work together, and it's so fun to have you back on the show again.
Right.
Thank you.
And when you've sold as many houses as Drew and I have, and you've walked through as many houses, you've had so many funny things happen to you.
Hilarious, ridiculous things.
Right. And like constant funny things that happen.
You've walked in on quite a few people, haven't you?
Some weird stuff.
Naked people, food things, pets. Oh my gosh, it's just so many crazy things.
Drew, you should tell some of the stories. We wrote down a couple stories that we remembered this week. We were just on the floor howling, laughing at some of the things that happened.
You guys should write a book, honestly.
Yes.
This could be an
That'd be
HGTV show right here.
We have a friend. My neighbor owns a wedding venue, the bungalow down in Pleasant Grove. Which is the best wedding venue ever. It's so cute.
Yeah.
Anyway, and they should write a book, too, from all the hilarious things that have happened. But anyway, we've had a lot.
Yeah, so I've got a bunch. I don't even know where to start today. But so we had one where I had this cute young couple, and they were handy, and they wanted to find kind of a fixer-upper house. And so we think we found the perfect one. The backyard was incredible, but the house was a little dated. And so we went and looked at it, and then we looked at the rest of the houses on our tour. And the next day they wanted to go back. And so they asked their uncle, who's a contractor, if he could come and look through the house with us. So we scheduled an appointment. House is vacant. So we're going and looking at it. And he decides, he's basically going to do a home inspection. He's crawling in the crawl space, and then he goes and gets his ladder out of the truck, and he's going to go look in the attic. And he gets up, and so we're kind of holding the ladder and waiting for him. And so he crawls up the ladder, and he goes in. It's like he's getting his knee over into there, and he has his headlamp on and stuff. And he goes, "Ah!" And he jumps and scares us to death. And then he starts laughing. And I'm like, what is... So he found so he starts lowering a snake skin down through the roof through the hole into the attic.
I hate snakes.
And he's like, there are like 30 more of these up here. And we don't know where the snake is.
Yeah, we're out.
Just the skins.
The wife is in the front yard before he gets that thing down. Before she's in the front yard doing the I just ran through spider webs dance.
Exactly.
We didn't buy
I'd be like, next house, we're out.
Yeah, we didn't get
bad
that
juju in that house.
Hard pass.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
never be able to relax when you're home.
I know.
definitely
You
hire.
shed all those skins, getting bigger and bigger and bigger as you go.
Hire a home inspector if you don't have an uncle.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Although, right now, sometimes you don't have the ability, you just have to take it.
Yeah.
I mean, we tell people all the time, would you still buy this house if the furnace had a problem? And sometimes they're like, yeah, I probably would. It's hard enough to get one that it's like, well, if everything else works, I'm willing to, as long as the foundation doesn't have a leak or a crack. You know, that's
if there's
pretty much
snakes
it.
in the attic, would you buy this house?
Well, Mathew and I, and this is a secret, but when we list a house, we usually tell people get it pre-scoped, the sewer scoped, because you want your buyer, you think about what are the most expensive problems that could be holding somebody back from really putting their best foot forward. And that's one of those things, as we say.
If the roof needs repaired.
Roofs are easy because you can see them. You can't see inside the sewer. And so, I mean, even if the roof's bad, as long as you know it's bad, that's one thing.
Right.
But we always, what's hiding that would prevent somebody from really putting their best foot forward? So we pay attention to that. So I've got another one. So I was showing this older couple. We were looking at some twin homes where they're kind of retirement homes. And I had called the agent, set the appointment. The house is empty for us. And so we go in there, and it's a little dark. And, I'm starting to turn lights on and stuff. And I don't know where there's 2 closets in this house. And he told me that the little grandma lady was moving to assisted living, right? And so I go, and I'm in the master bedroom, and there's 2 obvious closet doors, and I'm looking because I want to turn the lights on if there's something for the clients who are kind of following me through. And I open this door, and it was a linen closet, but this man lunges towards me, like as soon as I open the door, and I
kidding me?
jump backwards and stuff. Well,
he was hiding in there in the linen closet.
Yeah, except
some people's kids.
It's not a man. It's a life-size cutout, like you'd see at a movie theater, of Justin Bieber.
Oh my gosh!
Grandma that's going. I'm like, what's she doing with
Justin? She likes
She's
him.
a fan.
She's a huge fan.
Yeah,
wow.
super fan.
Yeah, that would be enough to get your heart going, right?
It was crazy.
Justin Bieber out of the linen closet.
Oh my gosh! I
Scared me
still
to death.
think the best hedge against inflation is a fixed housing cost.
It is.
It is.
For sure.
Yep. If you're going to buy a house right now, people are saying, well, maybe I'll just wait longer and not buy a house yet. And
You're
things
losing
like
money
that.
by doing that.
Right. But think about that for a second, because if you've got a fixed housing cost, if you get a mortgage that you can afford, you're covered. And I don't think that Utah prices are likely to drop anytime soon. We've got a lot of investors still buying properties here. About 22% of some price ranges are investor bought homes, and
I tell people all the time the best hedge against inflation, which we're experiencing right now, is investment property, because you have a fixed cost, so you get a 30-year fixed rate if you get the right one. I mean, if you buy something that's more than a fourplex, maybe not, but you can get a 30-year fixed rate, and you know exactly what your payment is going to be every month, and then the rents go up. Rents go up.
But what
when
about the
inflation
rental
happens.
market? Those poor renters just get like.
it's terrible.
But when the rates go
end
up,
of the deal.
They need to buy a house.
The truth is they do need to buy a house still, but some of them can't, and then they get priced out of the market. Then they're forced to be renters. And so, as when you're looking at what you can invest in the world, when there's inflation happening or whatever, being a landlord is the best hedge that you could have against inflation, because those rents change, but you have a fixed cost as the landlord. And so
I know, it just feels a little mean to just keep raising rents.
You're blessing their life
I know
by
it's economics.
providing that. But I think as a buyer, you need to look at a home and say, am I willing to live here for the next 5 years?
That's true.
Am I going to have a job? Is this where I want to be? Location, location, location. Is this where I want to raise my family? Will the cost of my housing be less than 28% of my gross income? So basically, can I afford this? Am I comfortable? Am I going to be able to still go on vacations and go out to eat and all those things? And then, do you have a 20% down payment? Mm-hmm. That's an important question to ask yourself. If not, try to get there, borrow it. There are some other loan programs that are less than 20%, but I would look at that. And then can you handle the value of your home going down if there are some repairs, or if the market does settle at any point? Are you still okay? And I would say in Utah, you're still pretty good. I mean, obviously none of us have a crystal ball, but the past is definitely trending that you are going to still have a lot of equity every single month and every year. That is increasing. And how much work will the house need? How much money do you need?
How much time?
Yeah, and time, right?
Yeah.
A lot of these fixer-upper homes can be a second and third job for a lot of people, and people just don't have the time and energy for that. So
what do you recommend for that if people want to get in the market but they don't have capacity to maintain a house, be a landlord?
Get a townhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you have a townhouse, somebody maintains it for you, essentially. I mean, Mathew, we had a client who Mathew had sold an investment townhouse to in like 2008. And it was probably in 2012 he was buying his next one. And he's like, well, you know, I'm afraid that this price is going to be off. And Mathew's like, what do you say to him?
You know, he actually bought a townhouse in 2008, arguably at the peak of the market.
Yeah, really.
And then had come back a couple of years later and said, hey, I saved up. I'm ready to buy another one. You know, and he was being, I thought, a little too picky about the, you know, trying to get a deal instead of buying a good quality, you know, townhome. You know, he passed up one that had some nice hardwood floors, and I was pointing out all these upgrades and saying, this is the one you should buy it, even though it's a little more expensive than the others. And I just turned to him and I said, wait a second, you know, you're thinking about this wrong. You know, if you could go back and buy another one in 2008 at the peak of the market, right before it dropped, would you do that? You know, because prices are higher now than they were then. He's like, yeah, I would. And I said, so just buy something in the right location that makes sense, that financially makes sense, and you're not planning to sell it. The way you're buying it, you don't need to sell it anytime soon. So over time, you're going to be fine.
And between 2012 and 2022, I think that's probably tripled in value for that townhouse. You think about that.
It's gone up a lot.
And I think a lot of people just want low maintenance, right? They just want easy. They have their daytime job and they just want a nice rental that they can provide to nice renters, even if it's at a little under what the market rate is, just to have something that will appreciate and give them money. I personally love Central Bank. They have been a partner of the KSL Home Show since the very beginning. They actually happen to be my banker that we've done all of our business and personal loans with as well. They are trusted bankers and loyal friends. I want to give a shout out to them. They have been serving Utah for over 130 years, and we are sure proud of their history and their sustained growth and security. It is definitely because they have remained strong, safe, and secure since 1891. They believe in continuing progress is a direct result of their dedication to caring for the individual needs and communities that they serve. A lot of the Central Bank people are actually neighbors of the people that they loan to, and they support those local businesses, which I'm sure proud of. Central Bank also does construction loans, they do residential loans, and they have in-house underwriting. So you don't have to wait 3 weeks for some, firm or meeting in California. I mean, they have meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays and give you information right there.
Plus, they know your names.
They know their names.
That's one thing we like about them.
Right?
Yeah. No, I mean, Central Bank also does SBA loans. We've done several with them.
So we're sure proud of them. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the KSL Home Show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's the KSL Home Show, sponsored by Osmond Designs. If you like talking about Utah homes and real estate, then this is the place on KSL
Welcome back into the
News
Home
Radio.
Show. Thank you for joining us. Lindsay Ertz here with Heather Osmond, owner, interior designer at Osmond Designs, stores in Lehigh, stores in Orem. Heather, you guys talk all the time about how people just knock on your door and make you offers on your homes. How do I get that to happen to me? I would love for that to happen to me. Someone come knock on my door.
I don't think you want that to happen to you. No,
why?
Because I think really even in this market, you'll undersell it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well, with that advice in mind, I still want it just to see what someone's willing to offer me on my house. But that's never happened to me.
Take some Instagram pictures and start posting them.
There you go.
And then people are like, oh,
That
Lizzie's
works.
selling her house. Let's go buy it from her.
Yeah.
Okay, but on a serious note, Drew and Matthew, you guys do market analysis for free. So if
Yeah,
you're thinking of
absolutely.
selling your home,
Right.
call you. It's free. You come out to the home, you run the comparables, you run all the, the solds, the under contract. So you run a report of all the solds, the under contracts, and the actives in that specific area and get a really good idea of where you are and what upgrades versus what work needs to be done on your home. It's not an appraisal, but it'll be really close for a ballpark for people to know how much they can sell their home for. And I think what most people don't realize is they actually can probably sell it for more than what they think.
Well, and I could do that instead of having some rando knock on my door. Let's
Yes.
do that.
That's-
Let's do
that's
that.
better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Besides that, the other thing that we bring to the table, instead of just looking at the comparables in the multiple listing service, is context. Because we've actually been in the neighbor houses and you're going, your house is this house is in the 95th percentile in condition. And so that makes a huge difference. It's not just the square footage. It's like how well it's kept and how much maintenance has been deferred and all those kind of things. And so we bring that to the table instead of just saying, well, it's just based on numbers like, some of these online sources that you can just type it in.
That's another question I have. Do real estate agents have territories?
Yes and no. I mean, we cover Salt Lake, Utah County, and the Wasatch back. But if it's outside of that, then we'll just refer them to somebody else that's good in that area. Because, our code of ethics actually says you're not supposed to work in areas that you're not familiar, whether that's areas of real estate, like industrial real estate or something like that. Now, obviously, I'm not that good in that area because I haven't been in all of the listings. And so I don't bring that context to the table.
Yeah.
And you do if you've been in a zillion houses, you've seen a zillion houses. So you say, well, this one is in better condition or this location is better because I know the area,
Yeah.
'cause that
Right,
counts.
but we'll sit down with people and then we'll help them see what they can for sure net on when they sell their house, and then we help them figure out how they're going to buy the next one and help figure out that whole thing so that they can actually make it happen. And that's why people call us up. So you can look us up online, utahrealestate.net. Call Drew because I get paid, whether it's me or Drew.
Matthew.
Listen, and they're real. They'll shoot it straight.
And they're fun. It's definitely entertaining to hang out with these guys. You guys work so hard. I am always happy to partner with you on any design projects that you have because you guys don't waste time with sellers that aren't going to sell or with buyers that aren't buying because you pre-qualify them.
We try
That's
not
true.
to.
We try not to. You're just too busy, which is great.
Yeah.
We're too busy.
Put a little time in up front, saves you a lot of time on the back end. So that's the thing. So if you know what to expect, then you know how to plan.
For sure. And I think the name of the game is sell your home as quickly as you can for as much money as you can. And whether you're upsizing or downsizing, get your dream home, which should be somewhere you love to be and want to be.
And do it in a smart way. So when you sit down with us, we're going to say, hey, go over and see Heather. Let's stage a couple of these rooms and get the house that's going to sell for top dollar. Let's do all the right things so that when you put it on the market, it sells quickly. And then a pricing strategy that makes sense so that we can get multiple offers and then get the price driven up for you so you can net the most money for your next transaction.
And if you're not looking to sell your home, we have more in-stock furniture than we've ever had right now because there have been so many of the orders that we have placed finally coming in. We overbought because of COVID. A lot of the upholstery companies are 8 months to 12 months out. So we stocked up. We just landed huge containers of leather furniture. It's the caramel leather that is all the rage, sectionals, sofas, chairs, ottomans. They're in stock. Bring your truck and trailer. We also have Revolution fabric upholstery, which is the most innovative, greatest fabric ever, and it's soft to the touch. But
And
you
I
can
can spill my Diet Coke
spill
on
a
it.
Diet Coke on it.
Wow. I gotta
It's
come see
so
this.
perfect for the Utah families. We have containers of that have just landed, and they're already selling as quickly as we can get them on the floor.
You need to come to Osmond Designs really quick because Heather has this huge warehouse and then she's got these stores that are chock full of furniture, and Heather's would like to park in her garage again.
Seriously. We just had another container land, and I have a 4-car garage. So 3 of them have furniture in them. It's all upholstery. They will probably be out of there by next week, I'm assuming, because we are selling them quickly. But definitely come check it out. We seriously have the best products at the best prices. So happy to have Drew Armstrong, Mathew Flinders,
And Heather Osmond
on the KSL Home Show today. Stay tuned. We'll be back next week.